Easy guys, how's it going? Well, that was a great episode, wasn't it? So, we got to see Piccolo beat the shit out of Gohan. Fond memories. We get to finally put a name to the female Broly character. I mean, we actually got quite a lot in this episode, which was episode 88, Gohan and Piccolo, teacher and pupil clash in max training. I feel like that end of that title was a little bit of a porcupine, but I'll explain later as we go on. So the episode starts off with Gohan and Piccolo having a chat, and Piccolo basically explaining that Goku had already told him about the Tournament of Power and what's at stake, the erasure of the entire universe. And it goes straight into them really just fighting. Really kind of just testing each other, really seeing what Gohan has. And Gohan starts fighting in base form. He doesn't even really go into Super Saiyan straight away, which Piccolo calls him out on, and then of course does go into Super Saiyan. And it's just really them kind of fighting, and Piccolo just kind of chiding him. Like, Piccolo's always been the father figure, and that really shows throughout the episode. After that, it cuts into a bit of a comedy bit. So I've started to become a bit of a trend, and I don't know if you guys have noticed as well, that what happens is we get like serious bit, tiny bit of comedy, and then back to like the main thing. And they seem to be doing it kind of with the same characters. So just so we always know what Beerus and Whis and say like Vegeta are up to, they just cut to them for like 30 seconds of an episode, so we know exactly what's going on. What I find really interesting is we still haven't seen Vegeta do any training yet. And I would have thought we would have seen something, because, well, the tournament's going to be in like, I guess, like 20 hours. So whilst he can, I guess, go into the hyperbolic time chamber, I mean, providing Dende rebuilt it, I'm just surprised that they haven't put some emphasis on them training. I don't know, maybe it's so the other characters can catch up, who knows. We then cut from that scene quickly to Android 18 and Krillin, which I really liked. So they are just sparring, and Marin is enjoying it. She's like watching the neighbours think they're crazy. It's a really funny little skit. And of course, Krillin gets his ass handed to him because he won't take on Android 18 with his full power, I think. I think he's still holding himself back. But it's a nice little funny scene. And then we cut back to Gohan and Piccolo. Now, they're starting to get more serious, and Piccolo even makes a point of actually pointing out some of Gohan's flaws. Flaws that we as fans have been pointing out for fucking ever. But flaws nonetheless. The fact that he lets his guard down, the fact that unless he's pushed into a corner, he never really lets his power out, and unless he finds a way to kind of bring that out at will, he'll always struggle. And Gohan's visibly panicked by this. Visibly panicked. But just as you think like that he's just pushing him down, Piccolo gives him a compliment, which is rare. Let's be honest, Piccolo's not one for giving out compliments, saying that he thinks he's more than capable. And it was a really nice kind of father-son vibe with this scene. You could see that Gohan really was impressed and kind of proud, like he got the validation he'd been seeking for forever, and decides to go and push himself, and finally does break into Mystic. So within one episode, we've seen him go from basically handling Super Saiyan to the full Mystic form. I honestly thought we weren't going to see it until the Tournament of Power. I thought it was going to be like, you know, something was going to trigger him, and that's when we were going to get to see it. But nope, they dropped it straight in the episode, and yeah, he starts fighting on power. In fact, he even cuts off Piccolo's arm, like going full warrior. There's talk of being a warrior in here. I don't really think Gohan's a warrior, but obviously Piccolo is, and he's trying to bring that out of him. This does cause Gohan to panic and stop, and Piccolo legit chokes Gohan. Like, this happens just before, but I feel like it should be talked about. So he legit chokes him to death. Like, that's no joke. Piccolo killed Gohan. He even uses the Ki Blast to bring his heart back, which we've seen twice now. But I was like, oh, extreme. But then it's Piccolo. What would you expect? In between this, we do get another jump. So they've been doing these like little like segues to other characters, so we get to see what other universes are doing, and we finally get to put a name to the Broly character. She's called Caulifla. I'm probably butchering that to death, but I do like the little nod to Broly, so broccoli and cauliflower. I think that's quite clever. I like it. I'm really interested to see where they develop her character, because she looks like some straight up terrorist on a ship chewing on a giant piece of meat. We have seen her being quite timid, so whether that's going to be a strategy or whether, I don't know, there's more to this. I'm definitely interested to see where they go with this, but that's all we got from the episode. It then does cut back to the Gohan and Piccolo, and it's finally them talking about what's going to happen next. So, of course, Gohan, being the ever grateful son, he's like, "Thank you for bringing out my mystic form. I finally feel stronger." And Piccolo's like, "Really, really? Like, we pulled mystic out in a day. Do you not want to see where this will go?" And Gohan's like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it looks like for the Tournament of Power, we're very likely going to get to see an evolution of the mystic form, maybe a new transformation. Transformation, the word gets thrown around like crazy, so I'm not entirely sure. I might do a separate video on that, discussing what we could possibly get. I'm definitely interested if you guys want to talk about that, what your ideas might be. Leave them down in the comments. And then it basically cut into our sneaky peek of the next episode, which was obviously going to be Tien. But it was interesting the way they done it. So Tien is now essentially a master. It appears that he has his own dojo, and we get to see the mind-controlled Master Roshi. Now, Master Roshi in his buff form, mind-controlled, looks like he can go toe-to-toe with base form Goku. I don't know if it's just kind of clever editing. We'll see. But if that is the case, that means Master Roshi is incredibly strong in his buff form. A lot more than we've ever actually seen before. Like I said, excited to see what happens in episode 88. Of course, if you enjoyed this video and you like what you saw, please leave a like and a subscribe. And I will catch you next week. A quick honourable mention though, because I feel like it doesn't really time with the story, but definitely worth a reference, is I really, really like the nod to Gohan chopping off the tail of the dinosaur. It was just a quick scene. It was absolutely beautiful. I absolutely loved it. And I just thought it was worth a mention. Of course, until next time, peace.